Closed captioning for The Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh, yeah. Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on The Casey Malone Show.
Today I visit the Midlothian Free Health Clinic, healthcare for the uninsured. I also prepare easy and delicious pretzel recipes. But first, here's a shot of whiskey sticks. I'm sure you have seen whiskey sticks around because they're in all my favorite stores and specialty retail shops. And You Dough Girl is the name of the company that produces them. And the president is Kathy Boswell. This is all her baby. And we're visiting here at her top secret location, the production facility. And we're gonna find out more about how whiskey sticks came to be. So thank you for letting us into your workshop here.
You're welcome.
I see that we are surrounded by pretzels. And you make the special coating that goes on the pretzels, but not the actual pretzel itself.
Exactly.
So how did you determine what pretzel was good enough for your whiskey sticks? I want to hear about that research.
Believe it or not, it was all an accident. I used to use pretzels that they're called a cut pretzel. I was running down to my last batch and we had to make them, and the company had sent me the wrong pretzel. This pretzel had a broken piece on each end, so the pretzel was one big long pretzel, and they snapped them instead of cutting them, which was wonderful because the whiskey, the sauce soaked into the ends of the pretzel. I didn't like the pretzel. I thought it looked like a second, like these were an accident. But actually it worked out for the best. And that's when I decided to use this pretzel.
So how did you come up with the recipe?
Well, I went to a party and there was a pretzel there that had a flavoring on it. And I said, oh, these are good. I don't even like pretzels. Yeah. And so I went home and tried to, make my own recipe, and it was trial and error, and it was like I felt like a mad scientist because every time I would make the recipe I'd write it down and try over and over again and add and delete or whatever, and then till I got to the right consistency. Took them to a couple parties and
huge hit.
Yeah, everybody loved them. And then I sold Pampered Chef. And I would take them to parties that I was doing. I was cooking in front of people. That's my passion. Yeah. And they wanted the pretzel. I'm like, no, I'm not selling the pretzel. I'm selling Pampered Chef.
I'm just bringing this as a nice little treat while I'm,
yeah, because everyone gets hungry when you're smelling the food being cooked.
From when you began to now, what has your increase been?
Oh, folds. We run every other day, 500 pounds of whiskey sticks. And pretzels are light. People were scared, they're whiskey, but the whiskey is all cooked off. The whiskey stick is kind of a catch to, the name of the pretzel is a whiskey stick. But it was really just, you can't get drunk off of them or,
Well, yeah, and people... Yeah.
Some people think
when it heats up, alcohol's gone.
Yeah, burns off.
And a lot of people, use wine in their sauces, and it's not like you're getting drunk eating that.
Right.
But yes, I do understand.
So it was just kind of like a slogan. Famous people have ate these.
Really, you're gonna name drop for me?
One of my favorite, Doris Day.
Doris Day likes your whiskey sticks?
Yes, yeah. They're in California.
CaseyFourthMarchweb. Yeah. How did she get them?
Friend of mine's friend is good friends with her, and we got her address and shipped them out to her. She sent me a beautiful letter back.
And then she special orders them down? Is that cool? Give me her address.
Let's see, Willie Nelson.
Wow. He might be smoking them.
Graham Nash.
Really?
Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Yes.
We believe that Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, Tanya Tucker, Bob Seeger.
Bob Seeger.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's really diverse. Have you gotten notice from a lot of these people?
No, the only thing that was Doris Day.
Well, we're going to get a gallery of everybody that, Rogue's Gallery of Whiskey Sticks fans. Now, Kathy, you have the 3-ounce bag, and you also have the 12-ounce bag. I mean, the 3-ounce bag, I could go through this in 20 minutes.
They're called a tongue teaser.
Yeah, I mean, really, don't waste your time with the little ones.
A lot of people want the little ones because they know what they're going to do.
Exactly.
So the little ones sell it's just as much as the big.
Now, really, for parties, you could even, you're thinking about a bigger bag?
It's perfect.
Party size?
You are the life of the party when you bring a bag of whiskey sticks. Some people say that they can't have a family function without whiskey sticks on the kitchen table.
Do you have a preference for a whiskey that you use?
No, I don't. It all burns off. So you can't taste the whiskey on these. Don't taste like whiskey at all.
Yeah.
So it all burns off. So it doesn't matter. So whatever's on sale.
But you're not going to go and start branding and doing the different kinds.
It's there's too much. It's too much to do that.
Well, you have a wonderful product, and I just love, local entrepreneurs doing really well, and you know what? You're filling a need. People need whiskey sticks. So go to their website, find a location, get to your store, and have a toast with the whiskey sticks to Kathy. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Take off with the Casey Malone Show. Woo-hoo!
I've got your next t-shirt idea for the magic trick. Eat, drink, celebrate, repeat.
Casey,
You like that?
that is our slogan.
Okay, well, I got this for a
But you know
t-shirt.
what? I think we need to put that on a t-shirt. But yes, when it comes to our food, we truly have the passion for bringing great quality food. We make from scratch. We support local farmers with our farm-to-table menu, and that's what we do. And then when it comes to our beverages, our drinks, we have 41 craft beers on tap. We really have the passion for the craft beer, and we are the only place this side of the state that does wine on tap. You cannot get a better quality. And then celebrate here at Magic Tree. It's all about creating a memory for people.
And you see all the different celebrations, all the things that people just love to party here. And I'll tell you, eat, drink, celebrate, repeat.
Cheers.
Part of growing up in Youngstown is growing up with Rowley Brothers Markets. Even friends who have moved out of town come to shop and say hi when they're home for a visit.
And my family has always shopped at Rowley's, and today they are still my favorite grocery store. My recipes depend on the best ingredients, and that's why I get them at Rowley's, where you'll always find the freshest food at the best prices.
Rowley Brothers is a proud sponsor of the Casey Malone Show. The quality that customers have come to expect is true local flavor.
$5 Burger Mondays at Sadie's Place, inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown.
My dad, Stephen J. Kamara, opened a jewelry store in 1948. He sold high-quality jewelry at a fair price. We are keeping the family tradition alive. I'm Bob Kamara. Along with my children, Rob and Brianna, Kamara's has the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in our area. You can trust Kamara Jewelers to offer the best value and personal service. Kamara Jewelers, locally owned by the third-generation Kamara family and working on the fourth. Get real, get Kamara.
Today I drew inspiration from Kathy over at Whiskey Sticks Pretzels. She was telling me the different recipes that can be made with a pretzel. And I started thinking, that would make a great crust, a great covering. And I went home and I started experimenting, and I have got 2 really easy recipes with the crunch of pretzel. You don't need to add additional salt because it's already on the pretzel. And then you can add additional flavorings if you want it more savory, a little more spicy. And I think you're gonna love both of these. One is a really cute and easy appetizer. I'm calling it my pretzel cheese pops. And the second one is an entree. You can use chicken tenders or you can use pork chops, but both of them will be pretzel crusted. So let's get going. For this recipe, you'll need 4 center cut pork chops or 8 chicken tenders, 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of Cajun spice, optional, 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, also optional, and 1.5 to 2 cups of pretzels. Well, we'll begin by preheating the oven to 425 degrees, and then we'll get the meats assembled. I have about 2 cups of pretzels. They have not been crushed yet. You can put them in a food processor, but you know what? It is just as easy to crush them with the rolling pin. I just put them in a sealed bag, and I'm just running them over back and forth until I get them nice and crushed. So now I have my crushed pretzels out on the plate, and I wanted to add a little more spice. I really like heat, so I'm adding a teaspoon of Cajun spice. I got this one from my girlfriend Sharon when she went down to New Orleans. It's called Slap Ya Mama. And then I'm also going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt. All right, and then I'm just going to mix that up a little bit. So when I dip the meat in, it is well balanced throughout our crushed pretzel. All right, and that's it. That's it for our crust. Now I have 2 eggs for the egg wash. And again, I wanted to add a little more flavoring. So I found that Worcestershire works very well. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon to the eggs. And then I am just going to beat those up and get ready for an egg wash. Pork and chicken don't have that many flavors, so you kind of have to add to it to enhance them. Now, I have the center cut bone in. You can use the boneless. And all I'm going to do is dip that into the egg wash. Let some of that egg run off. And then just dip it in the pretzel. See? Kind of press it down so the crust adheres. All right? And then I just lined a cookie sheet with parchment paper so we don't have any additional oils, and we'll go through these steps for the rest of the pork chops and the chicken tenders. All right, so we put it in the oven. Now I have 30 to 35 minutes for the pork chops, but start checking your chicken tenders at about 20 minutes. The pretzel cheese pop recipe is so easy. It will be your new go-to appetizer. I am using a flavored goat cheese with a little bit of an olive in it, but you can also use a blue cheese, or you can even use a softer feta. But you just want something that will, retain its shape into a ball. And then we have crushed pretzels, some parsley or whatever herb you like, and then the lollipop stick will be the pretzel. For this recipe, you'll need 5 ounces of your favorite cheese, goat, blue, feta, 1 cup of crushed pretzel sticks, 1/4 cup of finely chopped fresh parsley, and 12 to 14 pretzel sticks. We'll keep the cheese in the fridge until you're ready to roll. It is about the size, about a teaspoonful of the cheese. I am using this goat cheese with olives. And it's about 3/4 of an inch round. And then you just plop them in the parsley and pretzel mixture. Now, if you want to make them a little more savory, you can always add, some Cajun spices. If you want to add a different herb to it, you can do that too. But this, I think, will have general appeal. And then you just keep assembling them until you go through this package, and then you'll stick them in the fridge to firm them up. So the 5-ounce log with balls this size will make about 15. I've eaten a few of them. I'm going to pop these in the fridge to make sure they firm up nicely. Do not stick our lollipop in yet, because in the time that it's in the fridge, they'll get a little soggy. And then we'll enjoy our pretzel recipes. These recipes are my tribute to Steely Dan, the Pretzel Logic recipes. How easy are these? Very few ingredients, easy preparation, and delicious results. You can use a dipping sauce with the chicken tenders. Make sure you bake those about 20 minutes. But the pork chops will need a little bit longer, especially because I had thicker ones, about 30 to 35. But get your favorite mustard, your favorite barbecue, and look at these petite little cheese pops. They are delicious. Love these. I love a nice rosé because it really cuts through with the cheese and the spices in the different chicken and the different pork chops. Bijou, Chateau Saint Jean. Cheers. Perfect. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com, and find these recipes. You are going to love them.
When I want local flavor, I watch the Casey Malone Show.
Elder Ag and Turf Equipment Company is third generation and family owned and operated since 1952. Elder Ag has grown to 3 locations, serving western Pennsylvania and eastern Ohio. Elder Ag offers premier products and excellent service. Farmers, homeowners, ranchers, contractors, and commercial cutters know Elder Ag and Turf provides competitive pricing and backs every sale with quality parts and service by experienced technicians. Call, click, or come in today.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. Anyone who's been involved in an accident deserves to have a lawyer who will give them personal attention and be with them every step of the way.
And that's why I've come back to Youngstown, my hometown, to work with Elizabeth. I'm Patrick Manning. I've worked for other firms in other cities, but it wasn't for me. I wanted to work with someone like Elizabeth, who believes that clients deserve our personal attention. And that's our #1 priority.
Need a lawyer? Call us.
Hi everybody, I'm Danny, owner and operator of Catullo Prime Meats, a 3rd-generation butcher shop that not only specializes in quality, but also in customer service and doing things in a new technological way. Chris here is our customer service manager. Chris, what do you think that we do differently than any other grocery store?
I think we personally not only offer great product, but we can offer a great customer service experience as well. We try and treat all our customers like they were family and friends, ask how their family's doing just so they can keep in touch, and give them that customer experience that they deserve.
And the nice part is we not only do that inside the store, but also on CatulloPrimeMeats.com, where you can buy a lot of our products that we carry here, whether it be grass-fed beef, organic chicken, some of our specialty burgers and bacon. Those are wonderful, and we're going to provide that same customer experience online as we do in store.
Come see us in store or online. Make your next meal one to remember.
4 for $5 till 6. Happy hour at Sadie's Place inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown.
I am blessed with a wonderful husband. He's stuck with me through thick and thin, and he's a fantastic father. So when he needed long-term care, not just any place would do, we did our research. Everyone said, trust the name you know, Briarfield. With all those locations, there's always one close. That made it easy for me and the kids to visit more often, Briarfield.
Trust the name you know, Briarfield, proudly serving the Valley for over 20 years.
The First Presbyterian Church is the new home of the Midlothian Free Health Clinic. The clinic is staffed by devoted volunteers, and it is open evenings on the second and fourth Thursday each month by appointment. Well, in their beautiful new digs, I'm going to talk with the executive director, Maureen Cronin. Wow.
Wow is right.
This is really a beautiful setup for the clinic.
It certainly is, Casey. We are so lucky to have this facility located in the lower level of the First Presbyterian Church at 201 Wick Avenue, just up from downtown and across from YSU in Youngstown, Ohio.
The negotiations, the planning, the preparation, I mean, how long did all this, take?
Amazingly enough, it only took about 8 weeks. We were told in November of 2014 that the Midlothian facility was housed in the Bethlehem Lutheran Church was closing. So Jim Benedict, the chair of our board, and myself spent all of November and December looking for space. However, during that exact time, Youngstown State University was negotiating with Pastor Carolyn Griffith of the First Presbyterian Church about opening a satellite office to house their physical therapy department and to treat patients. So we teamed up with Pastor Carolyn.
How did this all come to be?
It's interesting that you would ask that question. We have been in conversation, our congregation, for a long time about our presence here in downtown Youngstown. What can we do for our neighborhood? What ways can we engage more with our neighbors? Because that's always our purpose. And so we had this huge space down here that was not configured the way it is now, but needed to be configured for something else. So what would it be helpful? What thing could we do, what ministry could we do down here that would be helpful to our neighborhood? And all of a sudden, we got in conversation with YSU, Dr. Joe Mosca from YSU, and found out that the Midlothian Free Health Clinic was no longer able to stay in their current location. And this happened right about this time last year. And so they came in and looked at the space, and as I said, our congregation had been talking about what could we do with this basement space that would be beneficial. They came in and took a look at it and said, this is really wonderful. It would be a great space for us.
I cannot believe it. Your name is Tracy Jordan.
Has been for, well, I won't say how many years, but
I love that character. I absolutely love him.
I get that all
you
the
must
time.
get that all the time.
All the time, except when it comes to paying my credit card. When I'm trying to get free dinner at Olive Garden, it doesn't work then. They're like, okay, Ann, I'm Eddie Murphy. We'll keep it moving. You know?
What got you involved in this way back in the beginning?
Well, our minister and the nurse, one nurse that was going there named Miriam Whetstone, the two of them thought it would be really nice to have a free clinic and or to have a clinic. So they talked about it, and little by little it became reality.
And what about you, Carol? Where was your area of expertise?
My area of expertise was at Northside Hospital, Valley Care now. I worked there for almost 30 plus years off and on.
Bree Hunter is a volunteer here, and you're kind of like a candy striper. And how did you get involved with the clinic?
Well, I'm a senior member of Austintown Fitch NHS, and we're required to get so many volunteer hours a year. So my mother came to me and told me that they needed volunteers for the clinic, and I obviously jumped on the opportunity because I love helping people, and I mean, I have to do it anyway, so why not do something I love?
Well, the clinic's new home began because of the collaboration between the university and their physical therapy school and the church. And then it added on to the clinic. And Levon Johnson, you are taking advantage of the physical therapy here.
Yeah, they do a great job. They really help me. They give me things that I can do at home so that when I come here, I can, each week I can increase my abilities. So.
You were really the one who kind of wrapped this whole package together, you know, being on the board at the clinic and then bringing this in.
But there were a lot of other people that helped put this together. Dr. Landgraf, she's the chair of the PT program. Dean Mosca, Joe Mosca, from the College of Health and Human Services. We have a rather large grant, the Senefani grant for vulnerable populations over at YSU, and through Dean Mosca and Dr. Landgraf, we were able to bring forward some funding to allow us to put together the program.
I love your new digs. I mean, this is really nice.
Yeah, we love them too. We love them too, yeah.
And you know, now that the affordable health care is in place and because of Medicaid, what are you seeing differently in the patients you do have? I know they've decreased.
We target, the clinic's target is for patients that have not enough income to afford insurance, but they have too much income to qualify for public assistance. So it's all the people that fall between the cracks. So even though Obamacare is out there, there's still a large number of people that fall between the cracks with that. And so we take care of them, and there are a lot of people in transition. They've just lost a job, they're waiting to get benefits, people just released from prison, transients moving through the area or coming in the family, coming back to the area that have been elsewhere and lost job or insurance or whatever. So it fits a pretty big need overall for the community. You may not be able to do anything medical, but there's a lot of things you can do to just help the guy out next door. So I think that's a big part of the message of what we do here.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.